This is the BGG Climbers by Geek Rating, week ending 12/23/2020. Happy holidays, everyone. This is a list put together by Michael Alexander. And if you want to subscribe to the list, please look in the description below. I'll have links to the list and to the current week's Geeklist. Also, if you like this video, I do it every week. Please subscribe and take a look at the other videos on the channel. So let's take a look. So we're going to start with the ones below the top 10. So one interesting one here is Bonfire. So it's already reaching the top 1,000, and it's staying fairly steady. I have played this game mostly through once. I want to get some more plays in. I think it's a pretty solid Steffenfeld game, in my opinion, and probably the best looking one. The Red Cathedral is one we're watching. It's already at 2,600. It's still moving up, but the average new rating has come down a little bit, although it only has 377. Let's see how it does. And we're watching Micro Macro Crime City just because I think it looks really cool for a family game. I don't know how this one's going to do as it hits a wider audience. I haven't played it, so I don't know, how the game plays, but I do think it has potential just based on how it looks and being unique. It is a really lightweight game, though, so can't expect too much. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is continuing its ascent. This one looks very likely to hit the top 100, I think. And if not, it's going to be very close. So let's see, number 10. So this is Nidhogg. Hopefully I pronounced that right. This is new. I haven't seen it on the list before. So we're at 783 ratings. I think it's a new release. And I don't think it's a Kickstarter game. I haven't seen yet. Simultaneous act selection, turn order auction, card drafting and chaining. This is a dragon that's threatening the Dwarf Kingdom, and you have to defend it, I guess. So let's take a look at some of these images here. I mean, the art on the game is looking pretty good. Interesting. Someone made a 3D printed box and painted it. 3D printed insert. And that's it. So not too many pictures on the game. Oh, here we go. I guess the dwarf art looks pretty good. Kind of reminds me of... Actually, is that the same artist as the West Kingdom series? Let's see. Artist? No, I think it's different. So anyway, I think this is like a family weight game. Some comments said it's kind of like Raw. Again, I don't know too much about it, but it is probably one to watch just from that there's a large following of people that love dwarves, and I think the game looks okay to good, although it seems to be just a card game with some other stuff around it. So that's number 10. We'll have to see how that does in the coming weeks. Number 9 is Pandemic Legacy Season 0. So this one is rocketing up the charts. This one's kind of preordained to hit high numbers. Its average rating is in the 8s to 9s, which is exceedingly good for a game this early. Again, it's the final Pandemic Legacy, although I kind of have a feeling that there might be one in the future at some point, just because it is, Asmodee. Anyway, this is a unique Pandemic Legacy experience because you're playing as spies and you're combating the Soviet threat in the Cold War instead of fighting viruses. And I think that it was very timely considering, although Pandemic sold really well this year because of, the virus theme, I do think that having something that takes your mind off the virus is really good. Although you can't probably safely play it right now in most places, but hopefully in the coming months we can, and I'm really looking forward to playing this game. It'll probably be my next Legacy game that I play, although I do want to play Clank Legacy, so we'll have to see. And look, This is a close-up. It's got the really cool teams. It's got these buildings, which hopefully isn't a spoiler. I don't know what those buildings are. It's got these cool, like, stacked token things. It's got the cool agents. I think the look for this game is phenomenal. Oh, someone painted it as the Mystery Machine. Or 3D printed the Mystery Machine and painted it up. That is cool. Van painted as Scooby-Doo's Mystery Machine. That is maybe one of the coolest things about this game. Or the picture I've seen in this game is that you could do that with your teams. So, anyway, I think that this one, as everyone expects, it's going to hit the top 100, guaranteed. And, we're watching it. It's got top 10 potential, I think, at this point. We'll have to see how it does as it gets more ratings. I think for a game to be in the top 10, it's got to approach at least 8,000 or 9,000 solid ratings before we get there, and we're a long ways off. So that is number 9, Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Number 8 is Honey Buzz. So this one is continuing its ascent, getting roughly 8.0 ratings on average. It's a really good-looking game. It's not, I guess, a kind of lighter, medium weight game, but I think the artwork and the component quality of the deluxe edition really brings the game, makes people want to look at it and play the game probably more than a lot of other games. I mean, look at this stuff. This is some really cool components. I assume that's, or someone painted the pollen. But, I mean, the organizer's really good. Again, this was a Kickstarter game, but I think the artwork looks good. I don't know about the gameplay. I do think the reviews for it have been generally positive, and cute games sell. Or a good-looking game with a unique theme sells games for sure nowadays. So I'm interested to see how this one does. I don't think it's likely going to end up on the top 100. I think best case you're looking at top 200 at this point. But we'll see. It's still very early. So that's Honey Buzz. Number 7 is Beyond the Sun. So we've talked about this a number of weeks. This is a tech tree building game. I really want to play this game. I don't know anyone that has it yet, but I want to get it to the, I want to be able to play it. If BGG Con would have happened this year, certainly I would have played this game there. So I think it's a good looking game. I think it's going to do well. It'll be interesting to see how far it climbs. Right now, it's looking on track that it could hit the top 100, but we'll have to see in the coming weeks. So that's number 7, Beyond the Sun. Number 6, Merv, Heart and Silk Road. So this is a new game with the art styling of Ian O'Toole, kind of a little bit different than his traditional stuff. It definitely is Ian O'Toole artwork, but it brings more, I think, theme into the artwork than some of his previous artistic designs. It's getting solid ratings. I think it's a little bit too early to say how high this is going to climb. I do know the reviews have been generally positive, so we'll have to see. That is Merv, number 6. Number 5, Dwellings of Eldervale. This one continues to climb. I did have an opportunity to pick up the Legendary Edition, and I passed on it, and I am, again, regretting it. But we'll see. I mean, there'll probably be a reprinting or a Kickstarter expansion coming, and I'm sure it's going to go crazy. This is a worker placement game that people say have one of the best use of game trays in games. This and probably Eclipse 2nd Edition. It's got an amazing look to the pieces. I don't know if they come with the wash on them already, but if they do, that's even better. It's got dragons. It's got good artwork on the pieces. It's got little dragon meeples like that. I guess they've been putting buildings on them. And it's kind of you can see the detail on these. I think they look good. I don't think they're like super detailed miniatures, but it's like basically a miniature worker placement game with maybe more interaction than you'd have in a normal miniature or in a normal worker placement game. I haven't played it, but I'm thinking more like Champions of Midgard style or direct attacking. I didn't, from the reviews, people seem to say the attacking doesn't feel bad. which is a good thing because I think some games it's like, oh, someone's weak, let's attack him because I want to make sure I win. And so anyway, that's Dwellings of Eldervale. I think this one's going to continue to do well, and it's already up to 1,000 ratings. So I don't see how this doesn't hit the top 100 at this point. But I guess the only way it won't is if there's not enough copies out there, I think. So that is Dwellings of Eldervale. Number 5. Number 4 is Kingdom Rush. So we looked at this game last week. I don't think this thing's going to continue to climb very fast. It's a very lighter weight game. It may be solid, but I think its target audience is not mainstream board gamers. And I don't know. I mean, Castle Panic's a fine game. I don't think it's top 100. I don't think this is going to be top 100. I still think it's the tower defense genre doesn't lend itself to climbing that high. Although it does look good. So you do have that. So that's number 4, Kingdom Rush. Number 3, Under Falling Sky. So again, it seems like we're seeing a lot of the same games. I guess it's all the new holiday releases, and I think we're going to see more of this one. It's been getting pretty good ratings for a solo game. I think the only... Well, Seventh Continent is kind of solo, and outside of that, the only real solo game is Nemo's War, I think, in the top 100, although it may have dropped out. So this one, I don't think is likely to hit the top 100 just because it's a solo game, but it may hit the top 200, and it's doing well enough where actually it's doing a little bit better in the recent weeks, so we'll have to see. So that is Under Falling Skies, a solo-only game that was a licensed print and play. The original game was a print and play on BGG that got a license with CG. So that's kind of exciting for people that really like creating print and plays and may want to get published someday. So that's number 3, Under Falling Skies. Number 2, Lost Ruins of Arnac. So this is, I guess, the first of the deck building worker placement games that have come out. So there's this one, Dune Imperium, and Winter something. I forget the name of it. Winter something. So Lost Ruins of Arnac, I've played. I think it's a good game, in my opinion. I think the artwork looks really good. I think the pieces look really good. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get it. And the reason why is I think I would rather just play Clank. It's a little bit shorter. It doesn't have the worker placement element, but it does have the deck building. And I think the deck building is the more interesting element in this. I don't think this worker placement, fighting monsters, and competing for the worker placement spots works as well as exploring a dungeon with a deck building. But that's my opinion. I'm sure there's lots of people that will differ on that. I do think CG did a really good job with the production on this. The look is really solid. The pieces look really good. The artwork is really good. So it will probably do well just from that perspective, and the fact that it's kind of a medium game, which tends to do well on BGG. So that is number 2, Lost Ruins of Arnac. I think we've already got 1,000 ratings. I think this might be briefly in the top 100. I don't see it staying in there, but it may briefly hit that. So number 2, Lost Ruins of Arnac. And number 1, Dune Imperium. So this one is really fresh out of the gate. It's getting even better ratings than Lost Ruins of Arnac. Now, I haven't played this one. It is, I think, a little bit heavier. Oh, I guess not much heavier game. Now, this is a deck building worker placement game set in the Dune universe. And I think the Dune movie is coming out next year. I think this was originally coincided to be released with the Dune movie, but it got delayed. The release got delayed. I think it's a really decent looking game. I think it works well with the space theme, but I don't think it looks... I would say Lost Ruins of Arnac, to me, looks better. I wonder what this is. Anyway, that must be from Custom Meeple. Yeah, oh, Baron. I'm interested to see how the gameplay is. I think it looks okay. maybe even good. But I wonder how many of these early ratings are just due to the Dune theming and having a new Dune game to play, and we'll have to see how it does in the coming weeks. I do know the early ratings weren't as good as the ones that got it recently, so we'll have to keep an eye on this and see how it keeps climbing. It is the number one for this week, so lots of people are getting their copies of the game and playing them and rating them. So that's it for this week. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.